A former federal prosecutor was out on Tucker Carlson's show yesterday, slam dunking, very excited about the fact that Michael Avenatti is going to prison for 2.5 years. And she had, a lot of kind of glee watching Avenatti fall off of his roof. But she also had some very spicy comments that didn't really appreciate about all defense lawyers, criminal defense lawyers. This is a former federal prosecutor who is now sort of, laughing along at the other side. And myself, being a criminal defense attorney, don't think I can let that stand quite as it is. Let's take a look at who I'm talking about. Of course, this is Francey Hakes, or Hakes, H-A-K-E-S, and she's on Tucker's show yesterday talking about Michael Avenatti. As we know, he's going to prison for 2.5 years for the Nike extortion deal, and then he's also going to California. His trial starts next week on July 13th, and so everybody wants to talk about this. Tucker Carlson had long time called Michael Avenatti the creepy porn lawyer, and even did so right to his face, and so these two had a nice long-running feud. So as soon as Michael Avenatti fell off the roof, then Tucker Carlson brings on somebody who just doesn't like defense attorneys all that much. And let's see what she has to say about this before we dig in a little bit further.
Yeah, Tucker, he certainly had that defense attorney bluster, that incredible arrogance that used to drive me so crazy across the courtroom when they were performing really for an audience of one, their own client, and never for the jury and never for the judge. He was really just like a normal criminal defense attorney to me. But today in court, he certainly didn't have that arrogance, as he was apparently sobbing with regret. And I just have to say, that's one of the things that used to drive me the most crazy as a prosecutor, was watching the defendant next to me cry and sob, because where was that emotion? Where was that regret when they were victimizing their victims? And
selling
here
marijuana.
he had an extortion scheme. It's not like I feel sorry for the shoe company, but the
Nike.
point is that he's got an extortion scheme to extort a shoe company. He's paying the price. Now he's going to prison for less than the federal sentencing guidelines recommended, by the way, which was 9 years. But still, I'm not at all surprised that he had such a rise and such a meteoric fall.
Can you believe that? That woman, former federal prosecutor out there, Francey Hakes, Francey Hakes out there, calling all defense attorneys typical defense attorneys, saying that we're just full of bluster and incredible arrogance, which is true. I mean, when you're the best in the world, you got to let everybody know about that. When you're way better than prosecutors and you crush them all the time, you got to tell them, obviously. But I'm still offended that she would actually say that on national television and belittle all defense attorneys out there who do a damn good job out there representing American freedom and their clients in the court of law, fighting for justice day in and day out. And this woman here is belittling us. I will not let that stand, my friends. And as you know, we've been on this channel for some time. We've talked about a lot of prosecutors, and quite frankly, we've talked about some defense attorneys as well. We just got finished analyzing Eric Nelson for some time. Did you see him with a lot of bluster or incredible arrogance? And I don't think so. I don't think so. But in fact, I do think that we've seen a lot more of those terms, a lot more of those characteristics from prosecutors, not so much of defense attorneys. And you may recall some of them. We're going to go through 6 of them that we've talked about here on this channel, and we're going to see if we can identify any bluster or any incredible arrogance from some of these people. And of course, since we're going to go through 6 of them, I want to make sure that we keep these organized. And because we're talking about prosecutors and people, district attorneys, people who are part of law enforcement and prosecuting crimes, I want to use a format that they're familiar with, and we're going to organize it, well, just like a lineup. It's actually going to look just like this. So we've got a lineup here, and what we're going to do is just go through all of the different prosecutors, and we're just going to pay close attention to those 2 characteristics, right? Bluster and incredible arrogance. And we're going to see if we can sort of just read it from their face, because you can just see it on a person's face. And it's really easy to read. Some people call it like, RBF, right? Resting F face, right? And so things like that. And what she's talking about are a lot of these sort of, superficial characteristics about arrogance and bluster. And we're not going to play videos of all of these people, but you can just kind of see it from their face. So let's go back to the lineup. Let's go through all 6 of them. And then, of course, I forgot to mention, I want to hear from you in the chat. We're not going to do a poll or anything, but we'll throw some numbers in here. Give me a number 1 through 6. Which one of these people has the most bluster and the most incredible arrogance? So this will be a little bit fun, little Friday activity for us here. Let's take a look at number 1. Who is our first prosecutor. Here she is. Of course, it's Francey Hakes, the same woman who we've already heard from. So she's kind of the measuring stick, right? The baseline parameter. Let's see if we can analyze any bluster or arrogance here. And honestly, my friends, I kind of just see it, right? I just see it right in the face in general. You see the sort of parted lips here. What that shows to me is sort of like just kind of a dripping disdain for defense attorneys and for defendants in general. Just kind of like, I can't even I just can't even believe we're here. Like even with these people, like defendants and defense attorneys. So, I mean, to me, that's a little bit bluster right there. I can kind of see it, kind of the squinty eyes too, right? It's one of these faces like, what are we doing here? Defendants? Criminals? No. So I would give that like a level 8 on bluster and probably a level 8 on incredible arrogance as well. Who else do we have next? Let's see who number 2 is. Let's go over and we have Lisa Monaco. Oh, Lisa Monaco. Yeah, she's the Assistant Attorney General here in the U.S. government, of course, the Department of Justice. She is Merrick Garland's number 2. Let's do a quick analysis on the bluster and the incredible arrogance look that she's got going on. And, quite frankly, I don't think she's quite up there as far yet. I would give her maybe a 5 on both scales. The bluster scale, I think hard to glean from this picture. She is sort of looking towards somebody this direction, and a little bit of bluster, a little bit of arrogance there. But honestly, Lisa Monaco is brand new, right? So that's why I'm going to go with 5s. She's only been here for about 6 months. And a lot of the sort of the leftovers are being given to her from Merrick Garland. And so she's got 6 months of duty under her belt. So I think that most prosecutors sort of, in order to get the job, you've got to be at a level 4, 5, or 6 at least for most prosecutors, for most positions of bluster and arrogance. And she's not quite there yet, right? I would say at a 5 so she can get the job. But I would venture to guess a year from now, bluster and arrogance level go up after she's got some more time in there at the Department of Justice. All right, so who else do we have? So, I'm actually okay with Lisa Monaco here, but who else do we have? We've got number 3. Let's see who this one is. This is, this is Cyrus Vance. Yeah, Cyrus Vance. This is the guy, Manhattan District Attorney. And so you can see that the bluster and the arrogance scale, this goes, it crosses genders, my friends, women and men, and we're going to see here it crosses, racial boundaries as well here in a second. But this is Cy Vance. This is a very, very arrogant and blustery district attorney. He is really the DA in Manhattan, and he is prosecuting Donald Trump. And so you can see here that we got some like level 8. Definitely level 8 bluster and arrogance for sure. Maybe a 9 on the arrogance. You can see the arrogance just sort of percolating right out of here at the corner of the lips, and the pursed lips there, as well as the upward looking eyeball, sort of looking up under your brow, right? When you do one of these things, kind of looking up like that, right? That's arrogance. That's condescension right there, folks. And you'll also notice that he's turning his head a little bit. So he's probably walking into a courtroom building right there, and somebody said to him, excuse me, sir. And he looked, what did you say to me, peasant? Right? He's looking that way over there, kind of over his shoulder. How dare you ask me a question? So I would give that an 8 or a 9 solid on the condescension and the bluster scale, the arrogance, the incredible arrogance scale. So let's see who else do we have here. We've got number 3. So that was Cyrus Vance. That's the Manhattan Trump DA. And of course, they're prosecuting Weisselberg and the Trump organization. And so they've been doing that for a long time. So he's pretty high up there. Again, and remember, we're gonna want your opinion on this. Once we get through all 6, I would like to hear from you. Which one is maximum? Now, and don't take my scale for it. All right, who else do we have? Number 4. Let's see who else is coming up. We've got number 4 is, it's Letitia James. Letitia James, yeah, also from New York. So these two are compatriots, little compadres over there in New York. We have Cy Vance, who is prosecuting Trump. And then Letitia James over there, of course, is also prosecuting Trump. She's the New York Attorney General. Letitia James also was the person who never decided not to prosecute the officers who murdered, in my opinion, Daniel Prude. Daniel Prude, who had the one officer from Rochester do the plank on the side of his neck and actually just sort of plank on him for about 2 minutes. And then he had everything in his head, neck, and everything collapse. He died later at the hospital. Letitia James decided not to charge them. So those officers are going to get scot-free. Also, didn't hear much about that 14-year-old. No, was that a 9-year-old, 14-year-old, 9-year-old? Who got pepper sprayed also by the Rochester police, also the Letitia James category there. So, I would give her a higher rating on the bluster and the arrogance scale, but you take a look at this face and you can just see that right there. Again, we don't have open lips here. Okay. See, open lips for these three. What we've got down here are closed lips, my friends. And look at this furrowed brow, this forehead up there, right? We got some scrunchies going on up there. And we have a face going, Did you just ask me for a reduced sentence? Take a note of that. That's incredible arrogance, my friends. That is bluster. Because remember, prosecutors are supposed to be people who are doing justice, not just getting convictions. And so that you can clearly see there, right, is absolute arrogance and bluster. Who else do we have? Number 5, we've got... there she is. It's Kim Gardner. Kim Gardner, of course, is over from Missouri. She prosecuted the McCloskeys, who they took a plea deal. We talked a lot about her as well. And so you can see in this portrait here, she's given the look of disbelief. Somebody just challenged her to something. And we've got some sort of extended openings in the eyeballs, sort of, going, oh, you're going to prison for the rest of your life. I can't believe you just asked me that. Well, I'm going to go back there to my office and I'm going to make a plea deal. And it's going from 5 years to 50 years. And how do you like that? Because I'm the prosecutor, right? Look at that face right there. See that one? Yeah, it's pretty high up there. I don't know what number I'd give it, but I'll leave that to you. Pretty high. And then, my friends, for those of you who've been around the channel for some time, I think I know which person's going to get this one. I'm wondering if maybe you know who this one is. Of course, we've got one of the most prosecutors that we've had so far on this channel. Of course, we're talking about number 6 is Thomas Binger of the Rittenhouse case. So we have Thomas Binger, who is prosecuting Kyle Rittenhouse. And look at that face right there, my friends. That might be a level 10 arrogance, a level 10 incredible arrogance, and that's just bluster right there. He is shocked in that image because I think that the judge maybe told him to stop calling the other person a victim when that hasn't been decided yet. And so Mr. Binger has been a difficult prosecutor in the Rittenhouse case, certainly. And he sort of makes it it's this big moral fight for him, whereas it should be about prosecuting crimes in the interest of justice. Of course, Rittenhouse's case is very clearly self-defense, and so he shouldn't be prosecuted in the first place. But Thomas Binger is out there and he is prosecuting them. So let's take a look, my friends. Which one? We're going to take a look at the chat here in a second. Which one do you think it wins the incredible arrogance and the bluster awards? Let's take a look and see if there are any thoughts over there. We're going to see if I can pull this chat up a little bit and see what's going on over there. We have a winner, number 5. We have somebody saying, let's see, Kim Gardner, is it a tie? Letitia wins. Farmer's Daughter says, Letitia wins in my book. She looks downright contemptuous. We have Kim Gardner, so Want to Know says it's Kyle Rittenhouse is a prosecutor. The Binger prosecutor, Want to Know, says, yeah, number 6 for sure. Farmer's Daughter says, I still think number 4 is worse. That was Letitia James. 3 Girly says, Cy Vance is quite up there, but Letitia only beats him by a half point. Let's see, Want to Know. We got number 6. Judge Clark, which is the COVID judge, of course, is also in there. And so, it's actually a little bit more scattered than I would have thought. Jeremy says number 5, the head tilt is the one that did it. So that was number 5 was Kim Gardner in here. And so, it's actually a little bit more scattered than I thought it would be. It's not as unanimous as I might have thought, but I thought for sure it was Thomas Binger. So, my friends, that was it for the day. Anytime that somebody's going to start some stuff with some defense attorneys, we have to respond, unfortunately. And so we're going to do that. I think defense attorneys are doing good work out there. And so to my fellow defense attorneys out there, keep fighting the good fight, my friends, and don't let these arrogant, condescending prosecutors get away with this stuff, right? We're going to continue to call them out. And I want to thank all of you who played that little ridiculous game on our fun Friday afternoon. And great comments and questions over from the chat. Let's see what else, if there's any other questions before we wrap up on out of here. We had a couple more coming in. Let's see. The rude prosecutor says, Be Brave says that she was pretty unfair to defense attorneys. Yeah, so that was probably coming in from on one of them. I'm not sure which one you were talking about there. We have Brian Hack says, I don't like any attorneys in general, but does say you're all right, though. Why the change in the show organization? Also, would you be able to maybe record your ending and attach that to each segment instead of doing it 3 times? Wishing you the best. Still think attorneys should be thrown out of the country and never let back in. That's from Brian. It's from Brian Hack. Good to see you, Brian. I'm not sure. I could probably do a recording. Would it be better for me to do a recording rather than mutter my way through my little spiel, my little commercial? I could do a recording. Yeah, I could do it and probably make it way better. I guess I could do that. Yeah. Let's see. Thunder7 says, I agree with what the prosecutor said. Not all defense attorneys are arrogant, but Avenatti was so arrogant that he committed crimes, and holier than thou. Johnny Cochran is the #1 blusterer, but a great lawyer. May he rest in peace. You have to be a blusterer. You have to be a little bit arrogant to be a good trial lawyer. I mean, there's some truth to that. I like to poke fun at her, but she's not right, not wrong, right? Let's see. No Avenatti fan from Sharon Quidney says, but disparaging defense lawyers. But hey, she's a Fed, right? So probably a Democrat. So you get what you can expect. I'm probably going to get indicted for this segment, so thank you for all of your support over at watchingthewatchers.locals.com because I just angered 6 prosecutors. Osak says, Rob, I can believe the response from this person, and I agree with it. To say defense attorneys have an ego or are sure of themselves or is something I do not want or need in a lawyer. The mere thought that my defense lawyer could win my case just goes to show the times that we live in. God help us all. From Osak. That's great. Want to know says, Rob is surprised that prosecutors don't like defense attorneys that make them do their job correctly. That's what a defense attorney really does. I'm sure some police don't like defense attorneys, making them do their job correctly too. Part of the checks and balances of the system. Have the best judicial and medical system you can buy. Just need $1 million to get fair legal representation. Not that much, but I understand your point. We've got a couple questions. Miss Lucky is here, says, Letitia James from New York is a clear winner of the illegitimate president grimace, right? Miss Lucky is exactly right. Letitia James is definitely up there because she's very facially, right? Remember when she said, we're gonna get rid of that illegitimate president. And she was just going hog wild with that thing. And it makes me laugh. I know it's mean. I'm not supposed to be mean on this show. My mom is going to not be mad at me about this show. Robbie, stop being so mean. All right, I'm going to stop, Mom. But I can't. If they talk garbage, then we have to respond. We have to. All right, that one Florida man says, I forgot about that guy, Eric Holder. From that one Florida man. That's a good one too. Obama's wingman. He's certainly up there. And then our last one of the day comes from a Sharon Quidney poll. Hard one. Number 3 is bad, which was number 3 was Cyrus Vance. Number 4, Vance, no doubt about it. But number 4, all-time high goes to Ira Reiner of the McMartin trial, which I'm not familiar with that prosecutor, actually. Sharon Quidney, which is another great comment. So all of those questions, of course, all came over from watchingthewatchers.locals.com, and we really appreciate your support over there. And I am, one more time, going to remind you that I am a criminal defense attorney over here, R&R Law Group. Our phone number is 480-787-0394, online at rrlawaz.com. And as you know, we are very passionate about helping good people facing criminal charges to find safety, clarity, and hope in their cases and beyond that in their lives. So we really love to help people with things like DUIs, drug offenses, domestic violence, anytime you're in trouble with the law or charged with a crime, we can help. We are quite experienced. We've got a great team of people here. We practice all over the state of Arizona. We offer free case evaluations, and we would love the opportunity to work with us. So just give us a call. We'll get something scheduled and see what we can do to help. And if you don't need any help in a court of law, that's a good thing. But you may want to check out some of my informational offerings over at gumroad.com/Robert Grueller, available now for your purchase. If you want to check it out, I would encourage you to check out my law enforcement interaction training, which tells you about the 1, 2, 3 rule for dealing with the police. And if you're a lawyer or a legal professional and you want to hang out with some other attorneys and talk about advocacy and business and YouTube and using sort of, some media in order to grow your practice and have fun also while you're becoming a better advocate for your clients and actually moving the needle forward in your practice area, that's the place to do it. We're having a good time over there, and we've got a call next week. So check all of that out. And I want to remind you before we get out of here that if you are not already a member over at watchingthewatchers.locals.com, you can go on over there. There's a lot of good stuff. We have a free copy of my book over there, as well as the live chat is happening down there. The form where you can ask questions for the show is over there. And there's a lot of activity taking place. And we also have a monthly locals meetup that's going to be happening via Zoom at watchingthewatchers.locals.com on Saturday, July 24th, 2021, 7 p.m. It's a lot of fun. Last time we had about just under about 40 people over there, and we got to sort of meet with each other and put names to faces, and it's a lot of fun. And so I'm thinking about, sort of creating a directory for our community over at Locals where we can support each other's, content platforms or even our businesses and things like that, later down the road. And so that's what we're trying to do, build a community. And we appreciate your support at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. And that, my friends, is it from me for the week. I want to thank you so much for being here and for accommodating me on some of the technological maneuverings that we are making adjustments on. I mentioned at the start of the show that many of you have reached out to me, and I'm sincerely appreciative of it. I'm still sort of going through some emails and trying to figure out how I can integrate this thing so I can remove some of the moving parts out a little bit. I'm practicing, and the show is being refined and modified, and I appreciate all your support along the way. It really does mean a lot to me. So that's it for me, everybody. Do your best to unplug from some of the politics this week. Have a nice, long, restful weekend. Get outside if you can a little bit. I know I'm going to try to, because we've got a lot to get into next week, and we're going to be back here ready to rock and roll, full steam ahead. So have a tremendous evening. Have a tremendous week, and I will see you right back here next week. Same time, same place, 4 p.m. Arizona time, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. on that East Coast. And for that one Florida man out there, everybody else, be well. Have a great weekend. I'll see you right back here on Monday. Bye-bye.